All right, I've done this before with other characters. I wanted to do a Brigitte matchup tier list. I've done this before with Mizuki and Sombra. I thought it'd be fun to do a Brig. Brig is a very interesting character. Some matchups are very favorable and some matches are very unfavorable. I'll try to give my reason for all of these, but again, these videos typically take a very long time to get through them, so I'm gonna try my best to be very brief for every hero and just go through the strength and weakness. D.Va, I say D.Va is a S tier matchup. D.Va's very good. Anytime she flies in, you can whip her away. The tip is obviously wait for boosters to end, because the whip doesn't really fully cancel out all the momentum. Once boosters ends though and you whip her, that's when you're gonna get the maximum distance away. You can also hit through matrix and all that stuff, and she will struggle to burst you down because of your shield, and you can close the distance fairly well, back and forth. D.Va's a great matchup for Brig. Incredible matchup. Domina's a little weak, like it's a really tough one, but I think she's more avoidable than the other weak characters. So the ones that are really tough to play into can be really unavoidable, but Domina's quite easy to just stay away from, but she has long range, especially if she gets that perk, so she can kind of just poke you from afar. Her E goes to the shield and is very good at forcing you out, forcing bash out, and you can't really whip shot her. In fact, I might put it down to D because just it is really tough, but I don't think she necessarily is countering you as hard as some other characters are. Doom, I'm gonna go A. Brig is really good at these dive characters because she's able to AoE sustain her teammates and save her teammates from being dove and knock people away with whip shot. I think Doom is harder because he has more movement, so one whip shot will not necessarily get rid of him, and he also has an easier time punching you away, knocking you out, and you can struggle to sustain yourself into that. Hazard, I'm gonna go B. I think Hazard, when he's weaker, is obviously just easier because he's weaker. But Hazard, yeah, you can boop, but I think he has a lot more counterplay to these things and can really get into your face and make it very difficult for you to do anything. His slash can almost entirely break your shield, so it's really difficult to stop that from happening. And then he also has the block, which means you're going to take a ton of damage, and you like being in close range anyway. They both like being in the same range, and Hazard just wins in that instance. And having wall climb means he's able to kind of bait out whip shots a lot more because he doesn't necessarily need to use all his movement. He also has a wall, so he can cut you off, make you not able to bash away and help teammates. So yeah, Hazard's a little more difficult. Still slightly favorable just because he's mobile. Whip shot's good, but it is quite tough. Queen, I'm gonna say C. Not as difficult as Domina. Again, she's really good at closing the gap and getting onto you, but she doesn't have any shield or way to mitigate your whip shots. So you are able to keep her away, and if she starts rushing into you, you are able to bash out and typically escape, especially if you have the speed up on shield bash perk. Mauga's really like weird. Put him in C because you won't do anything to Mauga, but Mauga can't really do much to you because typically you might play in a spot where he shouldn't be able to charge onto you, but if he does, it is really hard to survive. You will never out sustain him. You will never be able to knock him fully away because he can, become unstoppable. And even then, he has quite long range guns, so knocking him further doesn't really do much. So it is a really tough one. But I would say, again, it's not completely a direct counter because you can sort of just stay away from him, hit a whip shot on him, and then just leave him alone. That's very similar to Orisa, but Orisa does have a lot more gap close onto you, and Fortify makes her even more annoying if she's in your face. You can't boop her away. She's really tough. I'd still say, again, if you just space it well and keep her away, it's not completely unstoppable, but it is tough. Luckily, again, no verticality, so you can use that to your advantage. Ramatra is the worst. This is the actual worst matchup for Brig. Rapidus Vortex slows you, so if you try bash away, you just get stopped. He can punch through your shield, so your shield is basically useless into this guy. And Whip Shot doesn't really do much because if he's in Nemesis form, he has speed up, so you just delay your death by about a second. Very difficult character to play against. He also has long range poke and close range offense, so it's very hard to find a middle ground where you want to play against Ramatra. Now, if you are really good at Brig and you one-trick Brig and you learn all these Brig tags, all these like Brig stuff, Ram is manageable, but again, this is probably your worst matchup. This is the worst character to play against as Brig. Rhine is similar to these ones where you're not going to do much to Rhine, but Rhine won't do much to you. If he even charges onto you, You could typically space that away quite well, or whip shot him to the side so that he can't hit you. Just be careful not to whip shot them into your teammates. I've done that a few times. And then if you just bash away, he can't close the gap anymore once his charge is out. And fire strikes are very predictable, so I'm going to say it's about a C tier. It is what it is. Hog kind of sucks for everyone, but you can block hook with shield, and you can kind of bully him around a little bit and poke at him. And as long as you don't get too close to him, you're going to be fine. So I will put this one in the C. You're not countering him. I think these ones you are doing a lot more to stop him from doing things. But into the C matchups, it's kind of just as neutral. It's going to be fine. You're going to be okay. Don't get hooked. Sigma, kind of rough as well. These long range characters are just more difficult. And shield definitely helps out Sigma a lot here because he can cut you off a ton. And typically the maps that you're going to see Sigma on, you're bad on. So that's kind of correlation or causation, but still, it's still a factor to think about. And rock can be very punishing if he catches you as you're trying to bash away. But you can shoot through his sock and you can beat him away, but he's not trying to close the gap. So whip shot is less effective onto Sigma, and he has a shield. So it's a little tough to play into Sigma. Again, I would not say you should not play Brig into Sigma. If the other characters are easy to play into, then it's fine. But Sigma can make it so the entire team comp is really difficult to play into. Winston, I'm going to go A. Winston normally is S, but I do think he really can destroy you in a fight because of the fact that now everyone has that heal reduction thing. If he jumps on you, he ignores armor now with his primary fire, which was a change a while ago, but still something to mention. Which means if he jumps onto you and you don't get that whip, or you know what I mean, or he comes back on some other weird way, he does a lot of damage to you, and he will just cut through Inspire healing, so you won't be able to heal yourself at all to stay up in it. He will just hard win, which makes it a lot more difficult. The reason a character like Diva's not as much like that is because she can't shred through the shield and the armor, whereas Winston can. But again, it's still a good matchup because you can still get the whip and you still have bash to space. So if he jumps and you bash out, he really can't get to you, in theory. Ball, I'm up at Ball and B. Ball is similar to Hazard. Again, the IV character, you can stop them from doing a lot of things, but Ball just has so much health, so much mobility, you can't stop it all the time. So it's a little tough, but it's perfectly manageable, perfectly fine. Zarya, I'd say Zarya is pretty difficult, but isn't going to do that much to you. You know, barrier doesn't go through shield. She doesn't have any mobility or gap close. And bubbles are probably the most annoying thing because you can't whip her during bubbles and you can't whip shot people that she bubbles. If she's really good at proactively bubbling a Genji or Tracer that's going in, it can be very difficult to shut that down. But most of the time, the Zarya matchup itself is pretty neutral. Unrun, I think Unrun's tough. Whip is really difficult to hit just because she has such a high mobility, and she also has that like invulnerable thing which she can time really well. So I'd say Unrun's quite difficult to play into as Brig for some reason, just because she's just tough to hit. It's hard to proc Inspire into her, it's hard to keep her off you, it's hard to keep her off anyone, and that just makes Brig really struggle into this. I don't think it's terrible, and I think as I get better and play against more Unruns, I'll learn more things about it, but for now, it's quite tough. Ashe. Again, lots of the long-range characters are going to go down here because Ashe and long-range characters are just difficult for you. You can't whip shot Ashe, but you can use cover well and use spacing well, so I'm going to put her in C because I think, in theory, these long-range matchups are really difficult, but if you're learning Brig and you're doing the Brig learning process, you shouldn't actually struggle that much into these characters. Now, if the full comp is like Sigma, Ashe, and Widow, and Illari, and Bap and stuff, it can be really difficult, but one Ashe is not going to ruin your day. You can dodge Dynamite quite easily, and you can look for value elsewhere. You don't have to peek the Ashe. But she does have an advantage into you, so I might actually just put it D, high D. Bastion can shred you, but he can shred anyone, so you kind of just have to not get caught out by turret form, but otherwise, I'd say this is pretty normal. You're not doing much into him, but he's not doing much into you. You're sort of having this perfectly little neutral kind of fight going on, right? There's no real problem here. You could outplay a Bastion could outplay you. Kind of similar to Cassidy. Cassidy has to be a lot closer. He plays in your whip shot range. That's his effective range is much closer to your whip shot range, which is great for you. He's just playing at a much better distance, but it's still pretty neutral. I would not say that you have the upper hand into Cassidy, but if again you're on the right angles, you're doing the right thing, if he was to come into your space, you would have the advantage. Echo's hard, and I think flying characters are tough, but again, are more manageable than people give credit to, because Echo does have to close the gap quite heavily. I might actually put her in D. Stickies can really mess up your shield, because it either just blows up your shield if you hold it, or if you drop it, the stickies tend to fall onto you, and then you take the damage, which sucks. So the Echo matchup, it's hard. You can't really whip shot her. The lack of footsteps makes it hard to even track where she's going to come from, but I wouldn't say it's the complete end of the world. Also, a beam works on barriers. If barriers are 50% health, it also will do bonus damage, so she can shred through you. So just be careful of that. I think Emery is same as Ash. Emery's also really, really tough to play into. I know it looks like all these characters are tough. I'm telling you, there are some easier ones coming up. It's these hit scans that are just like awful to play into. Emery's quite tough. I will actually put him to cast because he plays in that similar close range angle. He's much closer in your whip shot distance, and he has less burst. His nades are quite easy to dodge, and if he pops his pistol thing, you can run away from it and not let it happen, or you can whip shot him away. It's a little more predictable. It's not that bad. Freya is really tough. Freya's really tough. I don't even... maybe... I actually might count this one as F. I think Freya might be one of the worst matchups for Brigitte, because she just stays in the air at range. She's vertical, so it's already difficult for you to hit her, and she plays far away. Really, really difficult. And she can just spam with your shield, spam with your teammates. Really tough to deal with a Freya. Genji, finally a character that you're quite strong into. Genji will very, very, very seldom actually kill you. He's not that strong into you. You have a shield, you have armor, you have whip shot. You can bash him, all kinds of things. You have lots of ways to stay alive into a Genji, and lots of ways to shut down a Genji. And shut down, if he dashes and you whip, he is basically cooked. So yeah, just be careful not to hit like Deflect, because Deflect doesn't deflect it, but he won't get whipped. So just be careful of that. Hanzo, another tough one. I'm going to put the same as Ash. Again, he just plays so far away. It's just going to be hard for you to really play that well into a Hanzo. Junk is also kind of rough, Junk's tough because, or kind of neutrally, it's just because he excels in those close rooms, and so do you, so he can just explode you. But again, you can whip shot him to keep the distance away. You can play around him quite a lot. He is far less versatile than you are. Your character is just a better character. You can do more things, so don't worry about the Junkrat too much. You can do other stuff. Mei is really good into kind of every character, but I would put it top of C here, because I think that you are pretty fine into Mei. The characters that I'd say can solo exist on like lanes and angles the strongest are Mei and Brig. So if you just play it well, you can make sure that nothing happens. I don't think Mei will kill you necessarily, but you won't also kill Mei, if that makes sense. But you can deny her value while giving resources and healing to the rest of your team, which means you are denying value while providing value. Pharah is easier than Echo because the hitbox is bigger, and I think just generally, but it's still tough. Just the flying characters are just going to be difficult to deal with, right? But there's far less burst damage, so it's easy to heal through, easy to heal your teammates through it, but it's still a flying character. Reaper, close range character, can be really difficult. I'm going to go with Mei. Whip shot just keeps him out your distance, but it's very, very rare that you're going to be able to kill a Reaper by yourself, just because you guys both are playing in the same range and use lifesteal and more damage. Just be careful with your bash. You don't want to be caught out with that bash if Reaper closes the gap onto you. You want to be able to whip him away and bash away and keep that distance. You want to deny his value. Don't look to actually fight him though. Lucian, again, kind of tough. I'm going to go here. She can play really far away, but she's not really going to. Far easier to whip. You can whip the slide quite easily. And you can just bash out of her E. You can kind of predict the rail. Just, don't feed the rail off of your shield. And you can play around a Sojourn a lot stronger than I'd say like an Ash or Hanzo. But still pretty tough, like at the end of C, where it can be tough if they are just that good. Soldier, a lot of these are going in C, but this is realistically how a list would go. Most characters are pretty just alright. So if you want me to give a thing of this, S is just, this is the best matchup. A are the good ones, B are the pretty decent ones, C is the neutrals, D are bad, F are the worst. I mean, that's what you'd expect. Soldier's pretty normal. You can fight Soldier a lot of the time, but I wouldn't call you a counter to Soldier. Like, you don't stop Soldier from doing what he's trying to do. You can just be a bit of a nuisance to him. Sombra, you're really good into Sombra. Good Sombras can play around it a lot more, but you are really good into Sombra because you can just save whoever gets dove. You can whip shot them very, 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 very easily. Get rid of, like, you know, close the gap onto them. Tank virus with your shield. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do in the Sombra. Sim is interesting. Sim's tough. The one thing that's really gives you the upper hand is if you are just a little patient. If she TPs onto a spot or TPs onto someone, you can just whip them off of TP, and they are just completely going to be caught out, which is really good. But the turrets are annoying, and she will get a lot off of your shield if you're not careful. But again, I think this one you're kind of stronger into because the main value is going to be on those TP plays, and you can kind of disrupt them entirely with a whip shot. Torb sucks. Torb sucks for like kind of everyone. Big hitbox at least, but you can't do anything in the turret. You can't do anything in the turret. You can play really far ranges, and if he pops Molten Core up close to you, Molten Core, what's his E called? Overload. He can really do a lot of damage to you, and you have to be really careful of that. Tracer, you're really strong in a Tracer. You're really good into Tracer. It is a skill check. It is a skill check, but I would say that Brig, the best Tracer, Brig has the upper hand. It's just the better character. You have more sustain. You're able to whip shot away, deny blinks, keep people alive, and just do all the things that Tracer is, prevent all the things that Tracer's trying to do. You're strong in a Tracer. You're strong in the dive characters, if you're gathering that by now. That is what Brig is really good into. Tracer's going to struggle to actually kill you because she wants to close the gap, and so do you. So you almost just can just save bash, whip her, play around it. But again, it is a skill check. Don't go into this thinking that you're going to blindly win. A lot of Tracers can just outplay you. Vendetta, in theory, is pretty good for you. And in fact, it actually is good now. After they fixed the bug where she was just not getting booped, you're now really good. You can now actually just boop her out of overhead and like any other overhead slam stuff before she's landed it. Typically you had to wait for it to get close and then whip. Now just hit it. It's so predictable. It's so easy. You will completely deny her most important part of her kit. Yeah, you're pretty good. Just don't try force a fight with her. Understand that overhead rotation and just dodge it and whip it away. She can just, again, like just stat check you, skill check you. She can just, that overhead can just punish you so much. But I will put her up more on the B. Venture's weird. Venture's pretty good into you, but you're also really good into them because their burrow is very predictable, and so you can bash out, and then as they come out, you can just whip them away. You can whip away drill dash. There's a lot of things you can do into a Venture that just makes Venture's life very difficult. But similarly to that Tracer Vendetta one, if the player is just, you know, well versed in the character, they will outplay you. So don't take it too much as like a guaranteed win. But it is pretty favorable for you. Widow's rough because you can't do anything to Widow. Just don't peek her. You're not gonna ever hit her, so just don't peek her. Just take any other route. Anna's tough. You're never gonna do anything to Anna. You can block nades with shield though, and she's not gonna do that much to you. She's never gonna sleep you. She's never gonna hit nade unless you're caught in a bad situation. You can bash to dodge it. You can block it with your shield. There's lots of things you can do, and she has to like 3-tap you. So if you take one shot, just get the cover. You're gonna be fine to Anna, but you guys are gonna do nothing to each other. Bap, I would also put Bap in Steam. I'm putting a bit of a high C, very similar to Soldier. You're never going to stop him from doing what he's trying to do, but he does play a little closer than other characters, other ranged characters do, which means you're going to be able to whip shot him a lot more. And he also, has a very predictable mobility cooldown. And if he ever tries to take high ground, you can just deny that from him. Brig v Brig. I mean, hello, this is the C, no? This is just play it well. What I'll say about the Brig matchup is you're never going to Brig diff someone by literally killing the other Brig. The way you Brig gap is literally by just providing more value to your team than they're providing to their team. Just heal more people, whip shot more people, do more things. Don't just fight a Brig. Like, it's whatever. And also, it's very similar to a Torb hammer off in the 1v1, where regardless of cooldown, it's basically just whoever hits the first hit wins. It's very predictable damage because it's the same amount of damage. If someone hits a bash, a whip, and the other person misses one of those, then that person will win. So it's pretty obvious. But don't worry about the Brig 1v1. It's not a real thing. You guys should never be 1v1ing. Ilari, rough. You can't break turret. Pretty much, you can't break turret. And she can play really far away. But it's not disastrous. She's not going to kill you. You're not going to die to the hands of Alari. You just can't do anything to her. Same with Cat. Cat's not really going to kill you. If they try to close the gap onto you, you can just bash them, whip them, do whatever. But again, you're not going to kill a jetpack cat, just ever. So, put that in C. Juno, pretty neutral as well. Oh, I'm blocking the thing now, aren't I? I didn't realize I've been blocking it for a while. That's my bad. Hopefully, when I'm editing this, I'll acknowledge the fact that I'm blocking it. My apologies. And yeah, but Juno is pretty neutral. She plays like that 20-meter-ish range, which is your whip shot range. But yeah, she can just speed people onto you, but Juno's not going to kill you herself. So you'll be alright. Kiriko, yeah, Kiriko's pretty normal. You can whip shot her off of wall climbs, but she can just outpoke you and out-sustain you. But I wouldn't be too fearful of Kiriko, and Kiriko wouldn't fear you too much either. Life Weaver, you can boot people off of his platforms, which is pretty good, but I'd say it's favorable in the sense that you're just a better character and you're going to do more things than Life Weaver is, but it's not like a direct thing. You are pretty good into Lucio. I will say that. You're pretty strong into Lucio. You can whip shot him off walls, engages. You can mess up his beat. If he goes for a beat in the... if he's going for a beat and you somehow whip it, you can make him end up in a location where his beat hits no one. Like, that genuinely can happen. And you could rally stun him out of it. Yeah, you're pretty good into Lucio because you can also survive in these angles for a very long time. Lucio's strength is the fact that he's just more mobile than you, and he can be so many more places than you. Yeah, you're fine to Mercy. You can just whip shot her out of res. She's not going to fight you, so you're going to win. Like, Mizuki, you're better at what Mizuki is trying to do than him, but he can play slightly further away from you and poke you out before you've done anything. But you are better at what he is trying to do the same thing as you, and you're better at it because your character is just better. Moira, she's not going to get as much life steal off of, because she can't steal health off of your shield. You can bash her away after fade. You can get rid of the gap. But I'm going to put it in C just because, I'll put it at top C as well, because you're not going to kill her. You aren't going to kill her. But she probably won't kill you either. So, pretty neutral. Wu Yang, pretty C-like as well. You kind of similar to that Honor, where Honor's playing so far away from you, they're not going to do anything to you. But this guy's not going to kill you. You have a shield. You can just block his shots. You're not going to get hit by wave. You're going to be fine. Zen can mess you up, but very predictable shots, very predictable patterns. Just stay away from him. And that is the entire list. There you go. That is all of my opinion, the best and worst Brig matchups. And in fact, we had a pretty even amount of like loads of neutral characters, which is correct. Lots of favorite ones, lots of bad ones. That's how all of these should go. Matchup tier list should never be weighted too much to the top or bottom because that's just not how the game works. Hello, Brig players. Let me know your experience with any of these matchups. Maybe, in fact, you love the Hanzo matchup. Tell me why. Maybe you hate the Genji matchup. Tell me why. Stuff like that. Yada, yada, yada. And if you're new to Brig and you're looking at this for any particular reason, take it as more of it's a fun and informative thing. Don't just swap Brig because you see this character, and don't flame anyone on your team for playing Brig into one of these characters because that isn't very nice. Enjoy the rest of your day.